Irregular bearing refers to an avocado tree having an inconsistent crop load from one season to another. Cold springs or adverse weather are common triggers that reduce fruit set in one season, leading to a heavy fruit set the following season. This alternating on-off cycle continues until something is done to balance it back out. Flower pruning or fruitlet removal in an excessively flowering spring can help with this balancing. Flower load alone is not the best indication of an excessively flowering tree. The health, vigour and location of a tree can affect the amount of fruit a tree can hold before it becomes irregular. A lack of spring vegetative growth or growth that is slow to develop is a better indication because it's this growth that is likely to be next year's flowering wood. This vegetative growth is also important because it will protect new fruit from sunburn and wind damage. Spring vegetative growth can be in the form of new vegetative shoots and indeterminate inflorescences. Ongoing good orchard management in terms of fertilizer, soil moisture and adequate light will support a tree to accumulate the resources needed to flower well and set fruit more consistently. Flower pruning or fruitlet removal in a heavy cropping year reduces the drain on tree resources, improving the consistency of production. Preferentially target flower panicles likely to set fruit in a position prone to damage. This can include sunburn and wind damage, physical damage by tractor activity, or fruit that could sag onto the ground. Try not to prune off too many indeterminate inflorescences, as the vegetative growth is important for next year's flowering. Pruning back to an indeterminate inflorescence or new vegetative shoot will help direct resources into developing vegetative growth and speed its development. Alternatively, prune back to some healthy-looking wood, at least 2 cm thick, to encourage new vegetative bud break that will shade and protect fruit set below it. There are no hard and fast rules around flower pruning, but generally, it's more efficient to make fewer, larger cuts on wood that's about 2 to 2.5 cm thick than many smaller ones. Larger cuts again of a more structural nature are unlikely to improve cropping consistency in the short term because stored resources are removed at the same time as the flowers. Structural cuts will more likely improve consistency in the medium to longer term by allowing more light into the canopy and generating complexity in the canopy. The earlier excess flower and fruit is removed, the stronger return flowering will be the following year. Pruning later when fruit is set more clearly visible makes decisions of where and what to cut off easier, but the effect on return flowering is reduced. October and early November is the time when new vegetative growth is becoming more obvious, making decisions about pruning easier. Flower pruning should be carried out as early as possible to get the best effect on return flowering. So, if you're expecting irregular bearing, removing excess flower or fruitlets as early as possible in a heavy cropping year can help improve your consistency of production.